11:05 a.m. Do you know where your home equity is? Welcome to the Velocity of Money. Here now to answer your questions about real estate, capital, equity, funding, and finance, your host of the Velocity of Money, Michael J. Barnes.
Welcome to the Velocity of Money. This is Michael J. Barnes, and you're listening to KFNX 1100, Arizona's news talk leader. And don't forget, you can listen online at 1100kfnx.com. We have in studio today with us on this great New Year's Eve. Thank goodness the year is over. We get to look forward to 2009. Dan Havey, thanks for taking the time to be with us tonight.
Thank you, Michael, for having me, and you're absolutely right. 08 for many people was a very, very tough year.
Tough year for pretty much everybody that I know. How many banks have we lost in 2008? Hopefully the bleeding is gone. Hopefully there isn't too many more banks to fail. Quite a few banks have picked up some of the slack, but the reality of it is so many people have been faced with such hardships. We have solutions maybe that we can talk about today that they can look forward to make 2009 a great year.
Yeah, definitely. That's part of what we're doing here with your organization at Velocity Financial and with the modification hotline and with many of the other things that I'm working on right now to help people out. When I first got into this business, it was back in late 80s. I moved here from Wisconsin after getting a degree in finance back there, and I started selling repos for Fannie Mae, Countrywide, and the RTC, which was the RTC, the Resolution Trust Corporation, was responsible for getting rid of all the real estate owned by the over 1,800 S&Ls that failed. So I cut my teeth working with my brother selling those repossessed properties, and got to know a lot about the laws, got to work with a lot of attorneys. And then in the mid-90s, I moved into the mortgage business, and I immediately started there working with bankruptcy attorneys for the most part. And we were helping people to get out of bankruptcies, mostly Chapter 13 bankruptcies, to avoid bankruptcy, to stop foreclosures. And I did that up until the fall of 2007. And at that point, the market really changed for me. As we know, most of the subprime financing went away. And although, I mean, some people might look at me and say, oh my God, you gave people subprime loans. Well, if you're in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy and your payment to the trustee is $1,500 a month, and I can get you out of bankruptcy and reduce your total monthly outlay by $1,200, let's say, because your mortgage payment will go up a little bit, I think that was a really good use of a subprime loan. And I certainly never had any complaints from anyone when I got them out of bankruptcy or I stopped their foreclosure and saved their home. So late last year, I moved out of the mortgage business for a while, but I never really left it because it's pretty much what I've done my entire adult life. Over 20, 25 years, I've been involved with mortgages and real estate and finance. And I worked for a while, about 6 months last year, a buddy of mine and I worked on a model, an idea that he came up with, of being able to accurately predict the top and bottom of all real estate markets. And we actually perfected it for Arizona and most of California. Worked really well to the point that we could actually predict the bottom of the market 6 months in advance. And then after all the bottoms kind of hit all across the country, we really stopped working on it. And it's one of the things I'm going to start working on again here over the next few months. The title of the book is Real Estate's Future, and you can actually go to my website at realestatesfuture.com and get a copy of that if you want to. It's not available yet. Just put in your information, and I'm going to give away a whole bunch of free copies of it. But the reason why I went through this entire story here is because a few months ago, Michael at Velocity Financial came to me and said he was going to do loan modifications. And I had been approached by other people, and I had seen a bunch of garbage on the internet. And the thing that he said to me, he goes, "No, Dan, you got to understand, we're using attorneys to negotiate these loan modifications."
Well, and that's, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's
but
okay.
That's the key here is using, that's one of the reasons why it took us so long to get in, even though Velocity Financial was at the very beginning of this mad craze. I mean, heck, you can't drive down the street without seeing a sign that says loan mod. It's kind of like, remember, Dan, back in 2006 in the heyday of the mortgage business, where you couldn't drive down the street and see a sign that said, hey, if your mortgage payment's more than 1%, you're paying too much. Well, now they got everybody is jumping into this loan modification game, and it's dangerous.
Well, and that's exactly it. It's every unemployed loan officer has gotten into the loan modification game, and I guess I'm guilty of the exact same thing. It's just after having 20 years of experience of working with attorneys, I know what they're capable of doing. I know how they can go in and negotiate, and the biggest thing is they're there to protect the homeowner, to protect the consumer,
right,
protect their client, because they have a fiduciary responsibility to that client.